What up, y'all? It's your hometown hero, the real Adam Coleman, host of the Tru-ID Podcast. And just real quick, man, a lot of people have been talking about this video clip that came out where Dame Dash was being interviewed by Big Boy and made some crazy claims about the Dead Sea Scrolls and so on and so forth. And so a lot of people have been talking about that. And I just so happened to have interviewed a guy just now who is a scholar. He's a PhD in Dead Sea Scrolls studies. And so I asked him a question about Dame Dash's statement. So let me go ahead and play the statement, and I'm going to play the response from this scholar by the name of Dr. Jamal Dominique-Hopkins, who gives a response to Dame Dash. Check it out.
And also another thing about school is, I've been doing a lot with the ancient history, Billy Carson and all that, forbidden knowledge, understanding what they don't tell us, the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Emerald Tablets and all that stuff. It all involves us not being, us being made, genetically modified by Anunnakis to be slaves. Ancient text, but nobody says that. You understand what I'm saying? Why they don't teach us all of those type of things? I want to know what they're not teaching us that, because everything that we're not taught is meant to control us. You feel me?
So, all right. So, I sent you a clip of a gentleman by the name of Dame Dash. You know what I'm saying? So, people who follow the hip hop culture, they understand, who Dame Dash is. He's a hip hop mogul who was with, Rockefeller Records, when that was really popping with Jay-Z and so on and so forth. So I guess he's continued to be in the game as being, a hip hop mogul and, businessman in general, probably in some other areas as well. And he was recently on doing an interview with Big Boy, and I don't even know how it came up. I have no idea how the Dead Sea Scrolls came up, but he made some real nonsensical claims, about the Dead Sea Scrolls. He claimed that the Dead Sea Scrolls contained or were all about the Anunnaki, which for some people who don't understand, don't know who that is, supposedly an alien race who basically created mankind to be slaves and so forth. And so he says that the Dead Sea Scrolls were all about the Anunnaki and us being genetically modified. I sent that clip to you, and so I just kind of wanted to get your reaction as somebody who is a scholar with respect to the Dead Sea Scrolls. And again, I don't want to misstate it, but if I understand correctly, you're the only African American or scholar of African descent to have that specialization. If I understand correctly, is that right?
Yes, that's right. Definitely the only African American with a PhD in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So I did my PhD work at the University of Manchester on the Dead Sea Scrolls, sacrifice in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And so as far as late Second Temple Judaism which is where the Dead Sea Scrolls would fall, there may be about 2 or 3 people of African descent, Ethiopians, that do the study of late Second Temple Judaism or Second Temple Judaism, but it's specifically the Dead Sea Scrolls. Nobody else, African descent, does Dead Sea Scrolls. I saw the clip, and what I know about the Anunnaki, which I haven't studied much about it, but what we do is we see that language or that particular kind of a collection of deities that shows up in the ancient Near Eastern period, primarily around Babylonian times. But with regard to the Dead Sea Scrolls has absolutely nothing to do with that or that particular period. The Dead Sea Scrolls primarily are a Jewish collection of material, literature, that primarily comes out in the roughly from around 100 before the Common Era to about 60 or 70 Common Era. So we have about a 150-year period where the Dead Sea Scrolls were actually recorded, preserved, saved. And so maybe as we continue to talk a little bit about what the actual Dead Sea Scrolls are what kind of literature that is. But yeah, so to look at that clip and to hear what he's saying, that's it's not very informed.
So take us into it, man. So what is the Dead Sea Scrolls? There's I can't tell you how many times I come across conspiracy theories about the Dead Sea Scrolls, and give us the facts. What are the Dead Sea Scrolls, and what are the kinds of things that we ought to expect to read in them, as opposed to some of these conspiracy types of things.
So the Dead Sea Scrolls are, like I said.
Okay, so obviously your boy Dame Dash was way out there. I don't know what scrolls he was reading, but obviously this scholar right here, Dr. Jamal Dominique-Hopkins, already shut that down. With that being said, this is just a snippet of the interview, so y'all can check the whole thing out on the Tru-ID Podcast channel, either at truidpodcast.com or actually right here on this YouTube channel where you can subscribe, like, share, and all that kind of thing. Hit us up, man, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you feel so inclined, support us also on Patreon, man. We love y'all. Love God, love people. Take care of the things that God blesses you with. Peace.